just cleaning up this joint. And in the same time, just tidying this edge up. So that just comes up. It starts the radius here now. So I'll just bring that down with a bit of sandpaper. So just round onto there. I'm just going to take the sharp edges off. That's it. Turn it over. Same this side. Right, that's it. Move on to the bottom. Just rounding off this corner, making it friendly to the touch. Don't want any rough edges. Now I need to sand all around here on the outside. So I think I'll get away with putting it in the vise like that. The joint is, do you want to have a look at the joint? This is the top of the arch joint, and I thought that little shine there was a little bit of excess glue, but actually it isn't. That shine is probably from the strap, as the strap's tightening around it, pulling on it. So I'm just going to come up that way, go up this way, do that a couple of times. That's it. The final grits will take these edges down a little bit more. Now I need to work on the inside edges. So let's put it on the table, sort these inside edges out. So I'm just holding the sandpaper like that, and this finger here is touching the glass so that the sandpaper doesn't come into contact with the lead or the glass. So if you see the dust going off the glass there, it's that finger, and it just stops any slight damage. As you get into it, you'll get used to sanding it without touching the glass. So this time I've got my finger, I've got the sandpaper halfway up my finger. There you go, 120 grit done. So we've got the frame to that point, and the next thing to do is to be able to get it to stand up, and that's really not secure. So I've made these Japanese inspired feet, which there you go, can go that way round, and then that sits in there like that. And how good does that look? And it's done, and now I've got to make some wedges to go in there to wedge it tight so that it stays put. So I'll make those now. So I'm going to make a cardboard pattern to get the shape, length, angle of the wedge. Right, there you go. Got a cardboard pattern. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to mark it where it is there, and then I'll cut it off a little bit longer here, a little bit longer there, so it can knock in and knock out. So I've got to make 4 of those. So I've just made a pattern. I'm using that area there, and I'm going a bit further than those lines, and they'll be longer than that, look. So I'll just knock 4 of those out, get them done on the bandsaw. 4 wedges done. So next thing is get these all planed up and try them in, and then mark them. So I always leave them too long, make sure they're too long, and then fit them to the feet. I mean, I've got some feet here, so fit them to the feet, and when I'm happy with where they fit, then cut them to length from here to there, and from that side to there, so that way I know exactly how much wedge looks right and fits nice. You don't want it lopsided, you don't want it to look weird. So let's plane these up. I've just thought I should show you this. This is a little vise I've got, and it gets used quite often actually. People go on about Moxon vices and all sorts. This is a little 6-inch wide vise, but for doing things like this, it is so handy. Let me just wind this up a bit. Not big enough for doing dovetails, but when you're going across the grain here, like I was with this chisel a few minutes ago, well, I don't know what you guys were doing. Anyhow, as I was going across here like this, I'm 4 inches higher than I'm 4 inches higher than the bench vise, and that just brings everything closer and makes it easier to work. So that's a useful little tip. Don't think you've got to work down there all the time. Lift it up a bit. In fact, this one day might have a piece of wood under here as well that comes out here, and I can hold it down with a holdfast as well. So I'm thinking of that. I've got enough room under here, look, where this screws in. So I could actually lift it another 3/4 of an inch quite easily, which would be great. Anyhow, these little vices, worth the weight in gold. Get one. They're brilliant. Right, let's tidy the bench off a bit. Right, so what I've got is this piece of wood is the same thickness as the frame, and I can put that in there, and I can get one of these wedges, and I can see just how well it sits. So let's start planing it down. So it's a bit tricky to hold, but that's why you want to make it a bit too long. And it is oak, and it sounds a bit harsh. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. And I don't have to worry about the end, because the end's not going to get that close. And don't forget, every time you play in it, this wedge goes a bit further in, so you don't want to take too much off. But it looks like, can you see that slight gap there? Looks like I need to take more off this end than that. So that's what I'll do now. So I'll put that slightly high in the vise, and that's slightly low. I'm going to start here. And then come all the way back. One more. That'll do. There you go. It's not bad. It does need a little bit more off the front. Let's try that. Oh, that's better. There you go, that's better. Right, that'll go in there like that. And I like the way it sits slightly proud. So I like it to have this this small step. It just looks, it's got a nice oriental look about it, but it's got an arts and crafts look about it as well. You'll see more of that in a minute. Let me get the other wedges done. Right, time for a sharp, and it's too blunt. It's making all the wrong noises. So let's get this sharp. If you need to know about sharpening videos, I've got a couple of videos on sharpening. I don't think I've done a plain iron one yet, but I've done some chisels and water stones, and you can get a good idea of how I do the sharpening from there. But plain one coming soon, not today though. Plain sharpened. Moved on to the next one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Last one. Oh, more off the front. Okay. Now it sounds all rattly and horrible because I'm going over bandsawn. And I don't think my blade's as sharp as I'd like it, but I'm sort of in a rush. See, it doesn't sound too bad on the straight grain. It's on that angled grain it sounds a bit ropey. That's not bad. Can I make it better? Yeah, I can. I'll make that a bit better. Let's take a bit more off the front. So if I start at the front and slowly work my way back. So I've taken about 4 pushes off the front. Work my way back. Oh, that's all right. There you go. Right, job done. Now I've got to mark them up. So what I'll do is I'll try each one in. If you want to get something equal, use some dividers. So I can mark there, and I can mark there. And just so I don't miss it, one's there and the other is there. And that way they're equal. Not just they're equal, but the next one is. So that's on, so I'm using the, right, okay. I'm just checking which way the grain's going. I'm using straight grain to straight grain, and this slight angle grain to angle grain. So let's push that in there, push that down there. And I'm only pushing it, I'm not hammering it in. So that's 2, 1, 2. This one goes that way round. Getting a bit easier now, isn't it? 4. There you go. Now we've just got to You can see how it's marked. Now chop those ends off and they're ready to go. Right, just get the pencil marks off them if there is any. There you go. I don't like leaving pencil marks on things because they don't usually come off nicely with sandpaper. So just get rid of the pencil marks. There's one there as well. That's it. So now I should have 4 wedges, all the same size. There you go. Right, next. No rest for the wicked. Next, all the sharp edges have got to come off. So we block right in, the block. That's just once or twice under each edge. Just knock off there. Now it's especially the grain. It seems to go on right. Right, there we go. So we've got that in. It's gone in a bit further than I wanted to, but you know what, as long as they're all the same, they all match. That's what it's all about, and that's what it looks like when it's finished. So yeah, great. Pleased with that. Now I can get on with finishing that. Make the feet fit that one. The extra feet are here. These I've left a bit too long, so I've got something to play with those. So those are too long, which is great. Get that one sorted. I think I'll get a finish on this now so that it's got plenty of time to dry and do its thing, and that one's going to have a different finish, so it'll be interesting. Right, well, they're both done now. The wedges I've just put on the front of here. I've had to open this up a bit. I'd forgotten that I'd made this frame quite a bit thicker, 2 or 3 mil thicker, to allow for sorting the arch out and all of that. So anyhow, as I say, the wedges can go either at the front like that, or they can go behind the frame like that one, and either way, I mean, that's a simple way of doing it. They look great, they're nice and simple. But if you like the feet and want to draw the attention to the feet, you can. What I've done on this one as well is that is much deeper than the other side. Let me turn it around and show you the other way. There you go. That looks clean. I'll tell you what else I like about these is you can choose where they go. I've put that approximately, that foot, approximately in the middle of that rail. You might prefer it further towards the end. But looks alright. Let's get some stain on this one. Some finish on that one. Nearly done. We've got some Danish oil on there. And this oak has been, I've stained this with a mixture that I've got, but it looks quite good actually. It looks alright. So that's coming on. Let those two dry. Another coat tomorrow. And here they are finished. Feet look great. Around the back.